And tonight, more details about the radical views of the imam behind the mosque continue to be uncovered, including his support for bringing Sharia law to America. Now, in a column published in 2009, Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf actually compared Sharia to the U.S. Constitution and our Declaration of Independence. And although he said that he, quote, cringes over Muslim women being stoned to death, he went on to defend Sharia, writing, quote, if you strive for justice and fairness in the penal code, then you are in keeping with moral imperative of the Sharia. He also indicated he'd like to see Sharia here in the U.S., saying, quote, what Muslims want is a judiciary that ensures that the laws are not in conflict with the Quran, and, quote, rather than fear Sharia law, we should understand what it actually is. So tonight, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a closer look at the laws advocated by Mr. Rauf, and we're going to examine what you should be concerned about if he gets his way and Sharia reaches the shores of America. And joining me now to help do all of this is Frank Gaffney from the Center for Security Policy, Michael Gauss from the World Muslim Congress, and we're also joined by the author of A God Who Hates. Wafa Sultan is with us. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Wafa, I would say you know best, Wafa. You lived under Sharia law for how many years, and tell us your experience.
Thank you so much, Sean. It's great to be on your show. Of course, I was born and raised as a Muslim, and I spent 32 years of my life living under Islamic Sharia. So I know what it means to be a woman living under Islamic Sharia.
And what is it like?
We have no rights. We are treated as second-class citizens. Because a woman is not a full person. We don't have the mental ability to control our life. So our life has to be controlled by a male in our family.
Michael Gauss, this is what we hear. Women in Saudi Arabia have to deal with the morality police. They can't be seen in public with men related to. Women can't drive. We see that women under Sharia are stoned to death. Women that are raped must have 4 male eyewitnesses. This is Sharia law, as it is applied in reality in countries all around the world. So this imam wants America to be Sharia compliant. What is he saying when he says that?
Well, first of all, Sean, Sharia is a human effort to understand the concept of justice enshrined in Quran for a day-to-day living. Sharia is about justice, but its misapplication is a problem every place. It is men ruling the societies, whether it is
Michael, wait, hang on a second.
China.
Where is it misapplied? Give me specific. Saudi Arabia, Iran.
Saudi Arabia,
tell me where it's applied properly in your view, and where it's not applied properly.
Well, most in general it is applied fine. It is in India, Indonesia, Malaysia. It is fine, but there are a few bad radical elements that are misinterpreting Sharia and Quran. First of all, we don't need that Sharia that deals with the public, that is individual to individual. Our system, American Muslims subscribe to our Constitution and our laws,
but that's not what he's saying.
Fair and just.
That's not what he's saying. And I'll go to Frank Gaffney on this. Frank, he wants a judiciary within a judiciary. Sharia courts, in other words, in the United States. And, you know, how are we to know which Sharia law he's referring to here?
Sean, thanks so much for focusing on this, because, you know, the idea that this is really all a question about religious tolerance is nonsense. Sharia is about power. It is about political control. This is the face of Sharia, as Pat Caddell has pointed out, and it is a horrific thing wherever it is applied authoritatively. And our concern is that when Abdul Rauf talks about to America, he has in mind bringing the practice, the one Sharia practice that is in accordance with the traditions, the institutions, the interpretations of the faith. And anyone who tells you that there are other kinds of Sharia and that they're not so bad, I think is either misleading you or misleading themselves, because at the end of the day, what it is really about is they simply haven't got around to fully enforcing the traditional Sharia on those places, like some in the Far East. They don't want it there. We don't want it here. Abdul Rauf does. does, and for that reason, no matter where he would build this mosque, it would be a horrific problem.
All right, let me ask you about this, Michael, because Andy McCarthy on National Review Online has a piece out today, and he says non-Muslims are barred from entering the cities of Mecca and Medina, not just barred from building synagogues and churches. They are barred, period, because their infidel feet are deemed unfit to touch the ground. And he said, you know, and he quotes the Quran, and which he quotes as saying the pagans are unclean, so let them not approach the sacred mosque. Now, the big argument in America today, and people that are opposing the mosque at Ground Zero are being accused of intolerant. If people of other faiths can't enter Mecca and Medina, is the faith being intolerant?
I think it is the people of Saudi Arabia that are intolerant. That is being intolerant, but that is the simple reason we have to consciously set up a model, set up the standards.
So Islam is being intolerant by saying people can't enter Mecca and Medina?
People can enter. I think it is the government of Saudi Arabia that is preventing. Mecca and Medina are God's place. Everyone should be able to visit.
But that's not the case.
Wants to visit. That is not the case.
And it's not the case because the clerics, not just the government of Saudi Arabia, says it must not be done. And Sean, you're exactly right. These are examples of intolerance. These are examples of sort of a barbarism and totalitarian quality to this political program. It's not about faith or religion or tolerance. It is about power and control, and it must not be allowed to come to America.
All right, we got to let it go right there.
Sean, I want to add a point.
We're out of time, but we will have you back. We'll continue this discussion. Appreciate you being with us, and there is plenty more to come in this hour of Hannity. Straight ahead.